Movie buffs, welcome back to the Movie Bay. This is D. In today's video, we're going to take a look at 20 movies where the good guys lost. All right, the good guys lost, the bad guys won, bad guys, bad spirits, just evil triumphed over good. So we're going to take a look at 20 of those, and we're just going to start this list off with The Omen, the original Omen from 1978. Also, we're going to talk about the Omen remake, which was pretty good. I enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't like that one. It got bashed. It's got a poor IMDb. I'm not really sure why. It was a pretty decent remake, in my opinion. I'm not really I don't know what they wanted from that movie, but I watched both of them back to back one day because I was just curious. I watched 1978, then I turned around and watched the new one with Liv Schreiber, and I don't see what's really wrong with it. It's different, but it's still a really good remake, and it stays pretty close to the source material. And that's, for me, that's all I really want in a remake. I want my remake to stay close to the source material. I don't want a lot of deviation. It deviated a little bit because you in some cases you're going to have to, but it stayed pretty true. I enjoyed it. But anyway, this is the one where in The Omen, both the remake and the original, by the time the father got wind of what was going on with Damien, he tried to kill Damien. And at the very end, he alerted the attention of the police, and they came in and they gunned him down. Damien wins. And then Damien give you that crazy little smirk at the end of the movie. In the original and in the remake. The little boy they had in the remake was incredible. He did a great job. So, yes, The Omen. This is one where evil won over good. Next up, we're going to talk about a series that's near and dear to everyone's heart. Whether you a hardcore movie watcher, collector, whatever, or just a casual, this series is near and dear to your heart, and that is Star Wars. We're going to talk about the Return of the Jedi, and we're going to talk about Revenge of the Sith. So in both of those movies, the bad guys won, and the bad guys won. So in both of those, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, it's revealed to Luke Skywalker that Darth Vader is his father. They took L's. Han Solo got encased in that stone thing. Everybody a lot of them, they took a lot of L's. So they had to go and regroup. And then that led the way for the next movie. Revenge of the Sith, pretty much, it was, to me, Revenge of the Sith was an excellent story origin for Darth Vader. But it also, again, the good guys, they took a lot of L's as the Empire became the powerhouse that it has become later on in the series. But yes, those are two movies in this series where the good guys absolutely won. Next up is one. This is another one that's near and dear to a lot of people's heart. For a lot of us guys who are in the Bluetooth collecting community, a lot of us really love the MCU, even though it's been fallen off a cliff as of late. As a whole, we really do enjoy the MCU, and some of us even appreciate the DECU or DEU, whatever the hell. DC's their extended universe. But anyway, we're talking about Infinity War. Infinity Wars, now, a lot of people hold this up higher than Endgame. I'm one of them. I think this is the better movie. Endgame had the ending. Yes, Endgame had the ending. They made everybody in the theater cheer when all them portals opened and all the good guys started coming back to engage Thanos. But this one right here, to me, this was incredible. I enjoyed it. I think this had a more complete story. I think the action in this one was better. And Thanos absolutely won. He was able to get all the stones and perform the snap and erase half of the world. So, yeah. That's Infinity War. Thanos absolutely won. Now, here's one. And this is going to be a common theme with this list. There's going to be a couple of mental illness plays a part in a couple of these movies. John Cusack, Ray Liotta, and Amanda Peet, Identity. So basically, these people are trapped in a hotel. And they're not really trapped in a hotel. It's one guy's mind. All these are different personalities. But finally, at the end of the movie, the one personality took this guy over, and he won. He was being transported. He killed the two agents that was transporting him, and that was the end of the movie. But basically, he won. Identity. Here's Johnny Depp played his part in this one. This is called Secret Window. Again, split personality. Same deal. Johnny Depp plays a character. I forget his name. He's a writer. And he actually is guilty of plagiarism, meaning he stole somebody else's work. So he's guilty of plagiarism. And he's not, when I say he's guilty of it, he hasn't really been found out publicly, but there's a handful of people who do know what he did. But he got a split personality. John Turturro plays the guy. The guy is from, I forget what his name is. John Turturro, but he wears a hat. No, his name is Shooter. My bad. The guy's name is Shooter. And he confronts him, but he's another personality. So at the end, Johnny Depp was able to kill his wife and get away with it. Kill her. I think the guy was either her husband or her boyfriend. He killed both of them and buried, I know he buried the wife out in the backyard under his cornfield. Banging movie. Great ending. Johnny Depp, I mean, he just didn't get enough praise for this movie, but yeah, he definitely won. He didn't go to jail. They didn't find no bodies. They didn't find no evidence. Banging movie. This movie, when people talk about Johnny Depp, they do not bring this movie up. And this, to me, is one of, not going to say his best, but this is one of Johnny Depp's finest performances, in my opinion. Secret Window. If you haven't seen it, check this one out. He definitely won at the end. Got away with murder. And another one, this one right here, when you think about movies with a plot twist that's just like out of this world, this one comes to mind. Seven. Yes, Seven. Yes, did the bad guy win? Yes, he did win. But a lot of people probably were like, well, wait a minute, Mills killed him. And that was the point. He wanted Mills to kill him. He set all that up to make Mills become Wrath. And he won because Mills became Wrath and gunned him down. I'm not saying Mills was wrong. I would say Mills was right for doing what he did, considering what John Doe did to Mills. But by Mills gunning down by Mills gunning down John Doe won. So the bad guy won. He got killed, but he still won. 7. Next up, Denzel Washington and a host of others. John Goodman, a young James Gandolfini, a great host, a great cast of characters in this one, a great cast in general. This movie is called Fallen. It's about a demon named Hazazel who jumps out of a guy into Denzel and really just set Denzel up for all these different murders and stuff. But they come up with a plan to get rid of Hazazel, and it almost worked, except for Hazazel saw a cat, and he possessed a cat, and he walked away, and he was narrating as he walked away. Fantastic movie. Really good movie where the bad guy definitely won at the end. That was a good plan to take out Hazazel, but the cat, it was, believe it or not, a plan for by a cat. Now, Jeff Bridges and Tim Robbins, Paranoia is Real. Yes, it is. And this is called Arlington Road. Man, what a banger. The ending is crazy. I mean, the whole movie is just, this is one of the movies where I have your mind clicking and clanking the whole movie, like trying to figure this one out until you get to the very end. What a setup. They set him up and played, Tim Robbins set him up and played him like a fiddle. I'm telling you. Tim Robbins was the bad guy. He definitely won at the end. He played Jeff Bridges. He played that to him, baby. He played him. Fantastic movie where bad definitely beat good. I mean, he beat him bad, too. Check and Mate. That was crazy. Next up, we got Tommy Lee Jones, Javier Bardem, and Josh Brolin in No Country for Old Men. Look, I don't really got to explain this movie. This is one of those movies where you really don't got to explain it. If somebody didn't see this one, don't even try to explain it to them. Tell them to go, don't say nothing. Tell them to go see this. Straight up. This is one of those movies where I'm not explaining that you need to go check this one out. But Javier, he won. He definitely won. He got the money. He got the money he was in pursuit of. He killed pretty much everybody who got in his way. And at the end, he almost got away scot-free, but he got involved in a terrible car accident. Terrible. but he still was able to walk away. So yes, he won. The bad guy won. He absolutely won. This is a movie for your ass. You need to check this one out if you didn't. Anybody watching my videos, I wouldn't imagine you didn't see this one, but if by some fluke you didn't, you need to check this one out. Javier Bardem did a fantastic job in that movie. I'm telling you. The Silence of the Lambs. Yes. Now, Buffalo Bill, the main target of the movie, was dealt with. Yes. But Anthony Hopkins' character, Hannibal Lecter, he got away scot-free. And he's really the focal point of the movie, even though he wasn't the bad guy. It was Buffalo Bill who was actually dealt with, but still, Hannibal Lecter got away at the end. He was on the phone. That phone call with him and Clarice was just, that's etched into my head. And he told Clarice that he was having an old friend for dinner, and we all know what that meant. Banging movie, great ending. Hannibal Lecter definitely won. He definitely won. Wow, we still got a few more to go. Next up, we got Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby. Yes, yes, yes. So, Rosemary was pregnant with the devil's baby. She didn't know. But at the end, it was revealed that there's a cult, a devil cult, and the cultists had the baby, and she was basically tricked into giving up her agency, her sense of agency, to be the mother of Satan's baby. Yes, the cultists won. The cultists, it was all set up by the cultists, and they won because Rosemary gave up her agency to be the mother of the devil's baby. So in all actuality, evil did win. They had their baby. The cult had their baby. The cult basically got Rosemary to agree to mother this child. So yeah, they won. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978, Donald Sutherland. At the very end, Donald Sutherland became a pod person. He'd been running from them pretty much through the whole movie, but at the end, he became a pod person, so the pod people, they won. Here's one. Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway, Chinatown. So we all know Chinatown, the rich guy, I forget his name, the rich business tycoon. At the end, he won. He got everything. And he didn't lose anything. He set certain things into motion, and he won. He won big. And all you could really see was Jack Nicholson's character walking away, and the guy said, well, that's Chinatown. Say the bad guy won, and there wasn't really nothing you could do about it. Banging movie, Chinatown. This is a really good movie. If you're a fan of Nicholson, you need to check this one out. Okay, here we go. Fight Club. Another movie dealing with multiple personalities, where you had two personalities in one body, where the one personality tricked the other personality into killing itself, and it did. So basically, Brad Pitt's character, that personality, won, and the Edward Norton character killed himself. Banging movie. And the Brad Pitt character was more of the darker character, so he won. Even though both characters died, but he was able to trick the first guy into, the first personality into killing itself. Make sense? And we talked about this movie in one of the videos before. Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike, Gone Girl. Oh man, was she a piece of work? Yes, she was a piece of work, and she won at the end. Yes, she did. She absolutely, positively won. The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight. Yes, the Joker set up a great ending, and he won because what he wanted played out exactly the way he wanted it to play out. The Dark Knight. The Joker won. Batman became disgraced, had to go into hiding. Bruce Wayne took a lot of abuse. You'll see in the following movie, The Dark Knight Rises, the toll that battle between him and the Joker and all of the things that happened after that, what it did to Bruce Wayne and the Batman. It basically took the Batman out of action. It kind of left Bruce Wayne kind of a broken man. So yeah, the Joker won, absolutely won. And if Heath Ledger didn't tragically die, we might have seen a little bit more. But unfortunately, that's what happened. But the Joker did win. He set up a plan, he executed the plan, and it went the way he wanted it to go. Saw, the original Saw. I mean, he was in the room with these guys the whole time. He actually got up and it played out exactly the way he knew it would play out. And no matter what anybody say, John Kramer is not a good guy. He's a bad guy. He may come off as like a, I mean, he was motivated. He was a good guy initially. If you look at some of the other movies, he was a good guy. He wanted to do good by people, but he just saw that people was just, I hate to say it, not worth it. Not all people, of course, I'm not saying that, but he just realized he got hurt a few times by people, so it made him into a bad guy. And he calls it like basically killing with a cause. But he does get, I will say this, he do give people a chance. Now, you could be permanently disfigured, but you'll live. But again, he's a bad guy, and we talking about the first movie. He absolutely won. Absolutely, positively won. He made it out of that room, and the other guy had to cut his leg off. He kind of won, but he didn't win. But the other guy, he closed him in there, left them in there to die, along with all the other people that died in that movie. So, yes, Saw, John Kramer, he actually won. And I'm going to save the best one for last, I do believe. But we're going to go to one where it doesn't come up a lot on lists. It's not talked about. I talk about this movie, and I sing the praise of David Hyde Pierce, because this movie right here, The Perfect Host, this movie is incredible. Again, we're talking about a movie where a guy with split personalities. Again, that plays a big part in these kind of movies. He's a cop. Believe it or not, of all things, he's a detective. And he's a high-ranking one, too. A guy who robbed the bank earlier in the movie stumbled upon his place and thought he was going to hide out there. And, man, I think he realized he stumbled into the wrong house. This movie is banging. And David Hyde Pierce, his character got away with everything, scot-free. Now, he was almost discovered by one of his detectives, but he set a plan into motion to deal with that too. So at the end, he won. And again, I'm going to speak highly about this movie again, because I don't hear nobody talk about this movie. Listen, it's called The Perfect Host. You can find this movie. It's out there. I got my copy on eBay. Now, you need to check this one out. Add this into your collection. You're going to love this movie. Trust me when I tell you. Good ending where the bad guy actually won. And the best for last. The very best for last. The movie where the bad guy won at the end. And that is The Usual Suspects. Listen, we all know what happens in this movie. But the way Kevin Spacey played this movie was incredible. The way he was telling all the different stories, and he was telling the stories based off of shit that was in the room. He was looking at different objects, getting ideas. He was doing all this on the fly. That's what made the movie so crazy. I'm like, look, I had to watch this movie a couple times. And every time I watch this movie, I'm just noticing how he's just making all these stories up on the fly. And then how he got up and just started walking at the end. Oh man, what a movie. Kaiser Soze, what a movie, guys. I'm telling you, The Usual Suspects is probably the best movie where the bad guy wins at the end. And this is also, this movie falls into a couple of categories. A couple of these will fall into this category too, as far as having a twist in. The Usual Suspects is definitely a movie where the bad guy wins, and it's one of the top movies with a twist in, where the whole plot just twists. So this one is snatching 2 awards. The Usual Suspects. So that's 20 movies right there, guys, where the bad guys won over the good guys. There's more, but these are just the 20 that I picked. So let's go ahead and reverse this and cover everything. The Usual Suspects. The Perfect Host. This is a banger. You need this in your life. You can probably catch it on the streaming service, too. That's why I originally saw this movie. And then I went and I bought it after the fact. Saw, the original. There's like 10 Saw movies. The Dark Knight. Gone Girl. Fight Club. Chinatown. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Rosemary's Baby. Infinity War. Star Wars. The Omen. Silence of the Lambs, No Country for Old Men, Arlington Road. That's a banger. Arlington Road is a banger, straight up. I don't hear a lot of people talking about. The only person I ever heard talk about this movie outside of myself was Tim over at Tim Talks Talkies. It's a banging movie. Actually, Miranda's Movie Madness, I think she picked this up in one of her pickups a little while back. Good movie. Fallen. Seven, my favorite movie in my entire collection. This is my #1 movie. Secret Window. Identity. So those are 20 movies where evil triumphed over good. The bad guys won, however you want to word it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.